Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and a number of subscribers made me aware of something, and it's been linked to me, talking about a substance called phenibut, which is an unscheduled, non-FDA approved substance that is now being distributed by Primeval Labs and by Jerry Ward. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this. All right. You know, I want to clarify something up front, because every time I make one of these videos, people junk on me, get mad at me. They jump on me about calling Jerry Ward Junkie Ward. They're like, look, you're making fun of someone who's a former addict, someone who's in recovery and everything. I'm sorry, guys, but I know people who are legitimate addicts in recovery. All right, I know people who are legitimate addicts who've gone through recovery, gone through they're working their steps and everything. And I can tell you, Jerry is not working his steps. The guy is publicly promoting and selling and using a Xanax-like substance that's there to replicate the effects of Xanax. And now he's promoting phenibut, which is a benzo here. He's stacked with it. And we're talking about people basically stacking multiple prescription-like drugs, anti-anxiety drugs, anti-PTSD drugs, pain pills, things like that, stacking multiple ones of them together that he is now promoting and selling. All right, he's not just falling off the wagon in terms of recovery, he's actually distributing. All right, who in the hell is who's going through their steps start selling pills? All right, who sells pills and advises people on stacking multiple pills that are not FDA approved or to replicate prescription-like drugs, stacking them together? They're not even being taken to build muscle here, guys. These are not even anabolic drugs. And he's advising people to do that. That's not someone in recovery. That's someone who's not only fallen off the wagon, but moved up the chain a little bit to be a pusher. You know, it's like the song Pusher Man. Boom, 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 boom. I'm your pusher man. That's Jerry. All right, Jerry Ward is now a drug pusher. There's no other way to describe it. And again, falling off the wagon, this is a guy who we had screenshots and he didn't deny it. He was stacking testosterone with 2 different anabolic steroids, with growth hormone, with IGF-1. So we have 5 anabolic drugs being used at high doses at the same time by him in his stack. No reason to think he's quit using any of that. He's admitted to that. You got a guy who's injecting 5 different drugs every day, or at least every week. Injecting 5 different drugs, and I'm not against people, you know, doing what they have to do to be competitive in a sport. I don't even object to that. So let's not pretend I'm being judgmental about that. I'm not anti-anabolic, particularly for athletes. But he's injecting 5 different drugs and then now pushing and selling multiple non-anabolic drugs to be stacked. And he admits to using these things. So this guy is on at least, what, 7 or 8 different drugs, 9 different drugs that he admits to. And he's going to sit up here and talk about how he's an addict in recovery. But, you know, here's what he does. When he gets up and talks about his addiction days, it's not necessarily shame. He gets up and brags about it. They're war stories. His story time. He's bragging about him having used heroin and Nubain. I mean, who in the hell gets hooked on Nubain? It's a cheap narcotic. It's hard to get. He did it because all the other top bodybuilders were doing it. Really, guys, think about this. This is not someone in recovery. This is someone who is actively engaging and telling war stories about his drugs, and now he's pimping and selling drugs. I'm sorry, but people who might be going through real recovery and who are trying to work through their steps and do this stuff need to stay away from this guy. He's a bad influence. He's going to get people who are addicts or addicts in recovery hooked on a bunch of pills that he's selling because they're over the counter. And here's the problem with Primeval Labs and people doing this. All right, they're talking about stacking a drug that the FDA has not approved, that has documented addictive properties. It has some pretty intense withdrawal symptoms. So they're going to sell a product, an unscheduled product, with major addiction issues. And again, go look it up. Look up phenibut and look up the withdrawal symptoms. I mean, people even hallucinate. It can cause psychosis and hallucinations, anxiety, all sorts of problems when you come off from the withdrawals. But yeah, hallucination is a withdrawal symptom. Racing heart rate, elevated blood pressure, heart palpitations as withdrawal symptoms. And they're going to sell this, and it's going to be over the counter. And that's the problem. You know, you got a company like Primeval Labs, and they have a history of doing this. They always grab up unscheduled substances, substances that haven't been classified yet. They've done tons of anabolic steroids that way, that their legal status is still in the gray area, so they crank it out. They crank it out. And they pump everyone full of any drug that they can find. You know, it was just anabolics and prohormones, and they just skirt the line with the legal status as if that's a good deal. You know what, guys? The truth is, your stuff is so overpriced, people can just go get the regular stuff off the black market for less than what they're charging. That's in a legal gray area. Until it becomes illegal, then they pull it off the shelf. But they've gone from that to working with Junkie Ward to selling all sorts of just regular pills that have nothing to do with training, nothing to do with lifting. These aren't even anabolic substances. It's stuff for anxiety. To help you sleep. Again, these are benzos that housewives and stuff popped and used to overdose on. The sort of stuff that they're selling here, people are really, really messed up by. I have a personal friend who had a major problem with Xanax. And he's going to push this out. You know, this Xanax-like substance that he was doing already. Jerry Ward and Primeval Labs are doing this. I'm sorry. I've had a personal friend, who's still a personal friend with us. I saw him just the other day, who has had a major Xanax problem, to the point to where he doesn't even like to see it prescribed to anybody. It scares him, the fact that anyone's even prescribed it after the major issues that he went through with it, the recovery he went through over it. You know, and then Jerry and them are just going to push it out. It's an over-the-counter substance. It's almost identical to Xanax, and they're going to stack it with Phenibut, which is a benzo with extreme withdrawal symptoms. It's a dangerous drug. And they're just going to push it out like it's nothing. And the problem we have is that you get all these young, naive kids who, because the supplement companies crank something out, they assume that if it's over the counter and they can just walk in and buy it legally, that it's safe. And so before long, you've got these companies and Jerry talking about being a recovered addict who's got people on pro-hormones. He's promoting pro-hormones. He's promoting SARMs and claiming they're low side effects. He's got people stacking pro-hormones with SARMs, with a Xanax-like substance, and now Phenibut, a benzo. All right, he's out here promoting this and pushing this to push people onto these drug stacks. And it's all over the counter, so it's okay, guys. It's not going to hurt you. You know what, Jerry? I'm going to put it to you this way. Someone who talks about being a recovered addict and a former addict, what the fuck are you going to do when you kill someone with this advice? When people start stacking all the substances that you're selling and someone gets really hurt, or they get killed, or they have to go to drug rehab because of the shit that you're pushing out, are you still going to stand up and talk about your former drug addict days and how you're in recovery and you're not really a junkie anymore? Is that what you're going to do?
Of course, he's full of shit.
Exactly, as my girlfriend chiming in. So yeah, you're going to stand up still and you're going to take your moral high ground and you're going to talk about how you're not a junkie anymore, but you're just going to make other people junkies. You're going to get people addicted to these addictive substances that you're pimping, that you're promoting, that you're selling. If they are stacking together now, they're being advised to stack them, because that's the thing with this Phenibut. They're being advised to stack it with your Xanax or whatever you're calling it. You're going to turn these people into pill poppers. How the fuck are you any better than the people who were selling you heroin? How the fuck can you even claim any moral high ground over the drug pushers who sold you heroin? You don't get to talk about being a former addict when you're stacking 8 fucking drugs together yourself and you're promoting and selling and pushing drug stacks of shit that doesn't even relate to building muscle or training as muscle building supplements, as fitness supplements. What the fuck, Jerry? And anybody who's going to come here and defend you as a former addict when you're a fucking drug pusher, look at all the shit that you're pushing and advising people, publicly advising people to stack all this shit together, these addictive fucking drugs, stacking them together. You're going to fucking kill somebody, Jerry. You're a piece of goddamn shit. You are a piece of fucking shit who is selling drug stacks of addictive drugs to teenagers and young men and women and promoting their use and glorifying their use, just like you glorify your former heroin and Nubain addiction days. Jerry, your ass needs to get back into the fucking program. You probably need to go into drug rehab. You need to rework your steps and figure out what the fuck you're doing before you kill somebody. Because you're going to fucking kill some of these kids, and that's going to be on your ass. And you talk about me? You have the balls to fucking talk about me being a bad person? You're fucking selling drugs to thousands of fucking kids, you piece of goddamn shit. Fuck you. Seriously, Jerry, fuck you. You're going to get these people killed. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.